Guys, go to hardafseltzer.com. Get some 8% seltzer shipped right to your house. The peach, the lemon lime, the strawberry shortcake, and the blue raspberry. No carbs, no sugars, no gluten if you give a shit about that. We are live in over 100 stores in Tennessee. More just opened up. Go to hardafseltzer.com today and check your store locator or order them right to your house.
Live from our studios in Austin, Texas, this is Drinkin' Bros Fake News with Ross Patterson, Dan Holloway, Papa G with the traffic,
How you feel?
Not good.
Yeah?
field reporter Hot Bob, and Delco Dan with sports. Welcome to Fake News.
Yeah, welcome to Drinkin' Bros Fake News, everybody. Bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week. D'Anthony Holloway didn't make it back from Las Vegas in time. You've got Jesse Wiseman from Ross Patterson Revolution and Crime Corner with us today. Show goes on, kids. The show goes on. Actually, most of our staff is out today. So first and foremost, a bit of house cleaning at the top here. Obviously, D'Anthony Holloway is not here today. He was in Las Vegas yesterday doing a suicide prevention panel with Tim Kennedy and Dakota Meyer. We streamed that live on YouTube yesterday afternoon on our channel, and we got a ton of DMs about it and how meaningful and important and impactful it was to see those guys up there and doing it. Occasionally, we do some good around here, but that took Papa Giorgio out, who had to go and film that to broadcast out to the world. And him and D'Anthony Holloway are on a flight together, but they're not coming back until late now. They got pushed, so they're going to be a little late. But the show goes on. We can't leave you without a show, especially fake news here. We're also without Hot Bob today, whose wife is in labor right now, right? Yeah. Is the baby born? Do you know?
Not yet.
Not yet. What time? Because I saw he went in at, 4 a.m. this morning?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so 4 a.m., no baby for Bob. Was he lying? And at what point do we say, hey, you're not getting paid because you didn't have a baby? Like, that's a lie.
I think right now is that moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because it's, 2:15 Central here-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. If the baby doesn't pop out of the vagina by 11:59, Bob gets docked a day's pay. You can't do that. You can't miss, all right?
Yeah. And he's not having it.
He's not doing anything.
Like, you left me to do a show.
Sure did. But baby was out. Baby was out into the world. I delivered it.
Right.
And I said, hey, Jesse, I've done so much today. I cut the umbilical cord. I did all the things. Show goes on. I got to go back and do a show. And you said, I understand. You're doing it for the people, and you're important to millions and millions and millions. Whereas,
gosh, I was all hopped up.
Yeah,
Did I say that?
You said that to me.
What a sweetie pie.
And as you were holding our newborn, you looked up at me.
Right.
And you also said, if it weren't for you, how would the world survive today? Gosh. And I looked right at you, and then I looked down at our newborn, who had literally just came out of the vagina, and I said, they probably wouldn't. They probably wouldn't be able to survive today. So,
right.
Sorry about it.
Fentanyl's crazy, dude.
It really is.
Like,
it really is.
If I said all of that,
yeah,
fentanyl is everything that everyone's saying it is.
Yeah. Do you remember the last thing you said?
No.
You actually recited the entire Bill of Rights, and I thought that was odd because I don't even know if you could do that now.
Now I know.
But that was before I left. And then you said, I'll wash your feet later. It was, I guess, in a reference to Jesus or something. And I was like,
right.
It's not necessary, but I'll obviously take it.
Mm-hmm. And I know, I do remember the nurse being a little bit confused that you left.
Well, I said I needed a warm bucket of water and I'd be right back. But Jesus has to leave and then do the show for millions and millions of people that you talked about and everything else.
She was like, he went to work?
Yep, sure did.
And I was like,
popped in, did one show, and then went right back. Now we switched studios.
It's only when you see it through someone else's eyes, that you really get the full scope of what it was, right? Because I'm in it, right? I'm in this life,
sure.
And so I'm just like, he left right after the birth, left me here.
Didn't have a choice, though. The people needed me.
Temperature still wasn't up to normal, but you left.
People needed me.
Right.
Yep.
And to me, seemed normal once I was telling other people at the hospital and saw their shock.
Sure.
Is only when I realized that it might have been a little bit weird.
Yeah, it wasn't.
This bubble
it wasn't.
that we're in.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Show goes on.
This bubble that we live in, it can be very distorting, you know?
Papa Bear's here for you. Show goes on, except in Bob's world. He's probably sleeping on a cot right in front of his wife right now. She goes through labor pains and all that other stuff.
Right.
But, sorry, Bob, I'm a better man than you. And that's just a fact.
Well.
But the show goes on, and it's fake news time, kids. Top story here. Republicans are pushing a national sales tax that could potentially abolish the IRS. Now, when this was initially introduced by Republicans in the House, I thought to myself, how could you abolish the IRS? How do you collect taxes? How do you move forward here with a government and a system? Well, they're proposing a new national sales tax bill that would actually tax people 30% on everything they bought. So instead of having income taxes, property taxes, all the things that you would have in this life, they're actually going to put a 30% flat tax on everything you buy. So if you don't want to pay a tax, don't buy it. It's as simple as that.
So nothing taken out of your check, nothing for Social Security, nothing like that.
Correct.
Literally just anything that you buy.
Right. And this would eliminate, according to them, property taxes, estate taxes as well, and then personal income taxes and federal income taxes as far as filing taxes with the government. Now, look, this idea was pitched, I believe, in the late 80s at one point, and it immediately died because people thought it was too crazy to do. So as soon as I heard this, it's called the Fair Tax Act. As soon as I heard this, I thought to myself, all right, I hate paying taxes across the board. I think it's bullshit. Not only that, it's time consuming. It's very, very costly. And you have to save up and kind of go through all your shit at the end of the year, file state, federal, all that other fucking bullshit. What if there was just one flat tax rate for everything you bought in this life? Houses included in everything else. That way, you don't have to tally up money at the end of the year and say, all right, well, how much do I owe? How much do I save? Like Delco, for example. Did you even plan for taxes this year and what you potentially might owe?
So I just wrote the IRS a check for like $7,000 yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
because I did my taxes and then I knew they were wrong. And I was like, I'm probably about $7,000 short. And they wouldn't let me fix it. So they tacked on another thing, like another $200 as a fine.
Great.
Even though I was, I knew I was $7,000 short when I did my taxes. And I'm like, hey, let me just pay you this up front. And they're like, nah.
Yeah, they were like, nah, dude.
And you guys have talked about him being the richest person in the studio, right?
Yeah.
Delco.
Yeah,
because he
and
just like rattled those numbers off like.
He sure did. Like it was nothing. Like he was throwing
I
$100
wanted
bills
to
at
pay
a waiter's
them.
face.
They wouldn't let me pay, so I just gave the IRS
all of this money.
$7,000, and they'll figure it out. It's got to be enough. And if it's extra, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
IRS.
Now, a lot of people are speculating that this would be a gift to the Democrats because this is so crazy that it would seem insane to even propose this. A lot of people say it would attack the middle class. Biden's response was, great idea. he said as he deadpans, it would raise taxes of the middle class by taxing thousands of everyday items from groceries to gas while cutting taxes for the wealthiest Americans. Not true.
Yeah, that's actually the opposite of what it is. Right.
So if somebody that was super rich wanted to buy a house that was $30 to $40 million, which is kind of norm in Los Angeles or in California on the coastline in particular, that would then tax them 30% on all of that shit. So if you wanted to be super rich and buy the Ferraris, buy the fucking Corvettes, the Lambos, and then the houses in Montecito, like Prince Harry or all of them, those taxes would still be there. I would love to take a inner peek at this right now. This is just kind of being proposed right now to see what the numbers would actually be on something like this. Because me personally, I would prefer it. Especially somebody who owns a small business. We own the Hard AF Seltzer, we own the media company, and a couple other things here. I would not like to have a guessing game at the end of the year for what I may or may not owe, or what I've got to try to write off or try not to write off at the end of the year. This way, to me, this would be pretty simple. You don't have to worry about the penalties and fines and everything else. I've gone through a couple audits, not only as a company, but as an individual. You were on those taxes last year, and they fucking suck. And like to Delco's point, even when you do file your taxes, if you miss a number or something is incorrect, they'll fine you. You got to pay that fine on top of it. And then it's just this rolling set of fees. Now, in my case, a couple years ago, I accidentally overpaid $15,000. And we're going on a year now and 8 months. I haven't seen a goddamn cent of that from the government. Not one. But I've been audited in the meantime.
Right.
And I asked them, I said, hey, where's the $15K? If you're going to audit me for something, it was a hurricane in like 2019, allegedly. They're like, oh, all the items are at random.
Was it not?
It was. Okay. Part of the items. But then once they got in there, they were like, oh, well, what about this, and that? And then they went down a laundry list of things that had nothing to do with a hurricane. And I was like, oh, okay. So you're telling me to go fuck myself. And that's kind of where we're at. I would love to get rid of that, but I'd have to take a peek inside the numbers on how exactly that would shake out. But it would be interesting. If you went to a grocery store or something like that, would you mind paying the 30% at the end?
30%.
Yes.
No.
As opposed to
filing stuff. I don't like filing stuff.
Property taxes and all that shit.
I literally cannot file anything.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Send it in.
A lot of people
on
are
time,
like that. Yeah.
Do the thing. I would much rather just pay it. But quick question though, how are people going to get rich by not paying taxes anymore though?
What do you mean?
You know.
Oh, hiding money from the government and all that other shit?
Does it eliminate that? Because as we know, anyone that is super rich
is going to try to remain rich. Yeah.
Well, no, they just got that way by not paying the full amount of taxes that they should pay, right?
Well, look, there's so many loopholes in all of these taxes. And Trump has talked about it, ad nauseum a million times of even with his thing with, I want to see your income taxes. He was just like, look, your businesses didn't pay, X amount of dollars. And he goes, it's not my fault that those laws exist.
Right.
Every business is going to exploit those. Yes, those would take those off the books. So I don't know how that would shake out, to be honest with you. Well, think about it. You're not filing taxes anymore.
I know.
So how would it work? I'm not exactly sure. This is very, very early stages of it. It says the bill does enjoy a number of co-sponsors within the hardline House Freedom Caucus, but even some arch conservatives aren't on board, including Chip Roy down here in Texas. Says, I've got some concerns. I will not support creating a new tax without repealing the 16th Amendment. So we'll see here. At the end of it, it says a new fair tax idea has never really had any serious support because it's not a serious proposal, but a bit of a niche talk radio kitsch from a generation ago, wrote somebody else here. I think it's worth bringing up at this point. I mean, look, we just moved to Texas, 2.5 years ago now at this point? Mm-hmm. The property taxes are the highest in the nation here. And it's not even close. I mean, the only other property taxes I've seen this high are right outside of Chicago, maybe New York, I guess. But this blows, like Austin in particular, blows Los Angeles out of the water.
Right.
So, yeah, I would love something to be done about all this shit. But I guess if you're going to change the entire tax code itself and abolish the IRS completely, a national sales tax would probably be your only shot, right?
Right.
There's nothing else there. Why are you laughing?
I just think it's just fun to talk about this stuff because, like, nothing ever actually happens or goes through.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So fake news is just fun like that because you're just kind of like having like a fun fantasy conversation, right? In what world does anybody get together and everyone get on board and pass something big? What was the last thing?
Probably the Affordable Health Care Act.
Exactly.
I think.
That was huge. That was something that actually was proposed. People were like, what the hell? And it actually happened.
Right. It's been a while, but look, let's face it. If you're going to run and you're going to try to run on something different or a different set of ideas, I think some of these conversations have to be talked about. And like, with this in particular, because over the years, I went through it for the estate tax. When a relative dies, they tax you on that, right? And you get taxed on the estate that you get, and it's total bullshit because a lot of the times you didn't even know you were getting shit, and then they're going to tax you on top of it.
Right.
Or it's a close family member or whatever, and you're like, hey, you're going to tax me on my fucking dead dad here? That fucking sucks too. I think something has to be done. I would love to see the numbers and how this would actually work. And I was a kid back in the last time this was even remotely proposed. So I have no idea if it would work or could work. However, I do think it's an interesting idea, and I would certainly love to see the numbers behind it to see how this would shake out, because we are going to need something drastic to happen here, one way or the other. Because the Amazons and Facebooks and all these guys aren't paying taxes anyways. And there's only so many times that Biden can scream that the rich aren't paying their fair share of taxes or the corporations aren't paying their fair share of taxes. Meanwhile, you've got a Corvette in the garage that you told us over and over and over again this week that you had. So there's got to be some give somewhere. Eventually, later on down the line, something radical's got to be proposed, because I can guarantee this. With the 87,000 IRS agents that have been hired to come out this year and next, I believe they're training now, and it'll probably take in effect probably in the fall or next year. They're not coming after the rich. They're definitely coming after the middle and lower class in this. And I think that's when you'll probably see a revolt. Once the stories start getting out of what they're going after them for, tax-wise, just so people pay it. I mean, in Delco's case here, even the $200, $200 to a guy like Delco, who's that rich, who's just got a bed full of lobsters that he lies in, and then he eats what he eats, throws away what he doesn't, and then fills up with fresh lobsters.
He's able to tan, and that's not cheap.
Not cheap
Believe
at all.
me.
Not
Tanning,
cheap at all.
Having my own bed in my house.
Yeah.
But that, that was an investment.
Right, but we change it out every 6 months.
You have
The
to.
bulbs are
Yeah,
expensive.
you got
I
to.
mean,
But even for Delco, when you see a $200 fine, you pay that immediately because you're afraid. It's out of fear of like, oh shit, well, are they going to come after me for something else?
It's
Are
not
they
really
gonna...
fear. It's just inconvenience of pushing back.
That's the other part of this, right?
Right,
So some
right.
people are going to pay out of fear. Some people are going to pay out of not being convenienced. But even that $200 adds up. We've got 330 million people living in this fucking country. If you're just going after little amounts like this, you think it's not a lot, but it really does add up. And I think that's not now, but I give it a year and a half to 2 years when all this shit kicks in. I think that's when people are really going to fucking revolt. And I think if you're a Republican, let's say it is DeSantis in 24, who's running on an abolish the IRS type sitch, something like this could help, or getting rid of the agents or some type of defunding. But then how do you pay for federal programs and everything else? I'm not really sure there. But I'm not willing to entirely shit on this. I do think it's interesting, and I do think something needs to be done. And at least there's people not afraid to throw ideas out there. This guy's getting buried for it, this dude in Georgia for it. But it's everything should be on the table at this point. Like, it doesn't seem too fucking crazy to me.
just a fun conversation.
Why not? Next up, the DOJ decided to not send FBI agents into Biden's house.
What?
Why? No. How? Why? This week, the Justice Department decided against having FBI agents watch over a search for classified documents conducted by Biden's lawyers at his Delaware homes. Notice I said homes because it's multiple, that these documents have been found in multiple locations at this point, in part because the attorneys were deemed to be cooperating with the DOJ's investigation. A Wall Street Journal reported Tuesday that the DOJ officials also opted for the hands-off approach in order to avoid complicating future phases of the probe and not to interfere with special counsel Robert Hur's work. Now, this is odd to me because when Trump was getting Mar-a-Lago raided there, he didn't really have this choice. Like, the FBI just showed up the moment his flight took off and raided the fucking house. Why aren't they doing this with Joe Biden? I just don't understand, James.
So they didn't ask him to turn him over and he refused.
No, what happened in this one is that
in the Trump.
In the Trump thing, allegedly. We don't really know in that case. And in this one, all we know is there was documents inside the house.
Right.
Same thing we know about Biden. There's documents in 4 different locations right now. And then obviously they were in a safe, locked up garage with the Corvette. And he's got one of those lockable garages, apparently, that you can just lock from the outside. He made that very clear on Fox this week, that the garage is locked. It's locked up. It's along with my Corvette.
He might.
You think so? I've seen a picture of the garage, and it definitely doesn't look like it has a lock on it.
Or the little keypad thing. That's what our neighbor had.
The wildest thing was the documents in the New York Post article were short on Bob here, so we're not going to be able to pop in and out this week. But the New York Post had a picture of it, and the documents are just kind of chilling right behind the Corvette. So the Corvette that we showed you here last week, it's the same Corvette, and the
nice
documents were just chilling there in an open box. And you could see them just kind of hanging out of a box in a garage there. And the FBI said, you know what? We're all good. We feel like you're doing a good job there, and I don't think there's a need for us to go inside the house. You take your time, although you keep finding them in different locations.
Yeah. And just let us know if you find any more. And,
Yeah, we're good. So we're
Godspeed.
all good.
Yeah.
The agreement between the DOJ and Biden's legal team was sealed after around 10 documents with classified markings were found on them, some dealing with Ukraine, Iran, and the United Kingdom. Maybe that was Princess Diana. Maybe that's why they did the book. We don't know.
Maybe it's more sibling rivalry stuff.
I hope so. Didn't Harry get pushed down in the dog bowl?
Yep.
Yeah. So all of these were found at the president's former home at Penn Biden Center think tank on November 2nd. It's weird that they say think tank. That's not really something I associate with President Joe Biden. But when those papers were discovered, the lawyers immediately notified the Justice Department, according to White House spokesman Ian Sams, which triggered an initial inquiry led by Chicago U.S. Attorney John Lausch and led the Biden team to scour other properties for additional documents. Now, even with that, why would you be looking at other properties there? And why would you be taking documents to 4 different locations? That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, with Trump, his were all in a fucking, back room there at a hotel. And
at his residence, right?
Yeah, that's where he lives.
Like his main residence.
Exactly. That's where he lives. So why would they be in 4 different locations unless you personally took them there? Like, it doesn't really add up to me.
But it kind of sounds like it is adding up to you.
It doesn't, Jesse. It sure doesn't.
Well, what do you think happened then?
I can't speculate. If the FBI can't get involved,
what are we doing here then?
I think everything's fine.
Questions.
You can't speculate, then what are we doing here?
I can't speculate. But gun to head, let's say I was forced to. Let's say there was somebody off camera.
If D'Anthony was here, he would say, no problem. He'd put his gun to your head. Now you can go. I don't have it. I don't do that, but.
Oh boy, I'm going to say because there's a double standard. I'm going to say because Orange Man bad, Trump bad, we got to get him out of there.
No, I'm saying, why do you think they were in different locations?
For Biden? Uh-huh. So with this one, clearly you were reading them. I don't see Trump sitting down by a warm fire down in Mar-a-Lago reading anything. I heard most of the people, his aides, were reading shit aloud to him in the morning.
Yeah, famously, I think he was just like, ugh.
Yeah, he was like, gross. Let's move along. I beat the virus. Like, I think he was like, let's move this along. Why don't you just talk this out so I can get the fuck out of here today? And let's get on to the important shit.
Cliff notes, right?
Yeah.
Give me the cliff notes.
So now, an older gentleman such as Biden, because even going back 6 years, he was still 74 years old when he took these papers home with him as VP. For them to be in 4 different locations, he's clearly reading up on something because it doesn't really make sense why they would be in 4 different locations, especially with the boxes opened. What are you reading and looking into? Now, when I saw Ukraine, he's got a son. I can't remember his name. Hunter something. Oh, it's just Hunter Biden. Hunter had business dealings with the Ukraine, and the laptop was allegedly to deal with wire fraud, including payments to the Ukraine. Now, Iran and shit, I have no fucking idea.
Sure.
Who knows in that? The United Kingdom, no fucking idea. Again, maybe he's a huge Princess Di fan, a Lady Di fan, and I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
But Ukraine certainly makes sense. According to 10% for the big guy on some of those emails back and forth regarding Ukraine. So that's my guess on that one. And it's very odd, but I would love for the FBI to get involved. But it's just that there's no need, Jesse.
Yeah.
There's no need. They want everybody to know that they're cooperating and everything is fine. Nothing to see here. Now, when he went overseas... this week, the foreign press was all over him to answer questions about it, and all he did was smirk and say, I'm not answering any further questions, because you don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have any fucking rules, bro. So you can kind of just do whatever you want, and everything's going to be fine here.
Right.
But the fact that this story exists and is out in the open now, I don't think anything happens with Trump. I don't think anything's certainly going to happen with Biden here on any of this shit.
Oh, yeah, that's the question, too. Like, do you think because they're not investigating Biden, they're going to have to drop the Trump situation?
Well, you're looking at one of two things here. Now, people are...
You're going to have to do both, or you can
correct.
not
and
do
people
either.
are saying, look, if you're charging Trump, you're charging Biden.
Right.
And so if you're the DOJ, and this was by somebody who had no political leanings... wrote an article this week saying charge both of them. That way it sets a precedent for any other president that goes into office not to take classified documents home with them, although almost every president has, for whatever reason. Now, we haven't been able to see any of these goddamn things or read them, so I have no fucking idea what they took home and why.
Look, again, these people, and I've said this a million times, like these people are 70 to 80 years old, right?
Yeah.
Biden is what? 70.
No, he's 80.
He's 80
He's
at
80
this
now,
point
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Have you ever met one?
An 80-year-old person?
Well, that could just kind of keep everything together. And, what's the internet password? Or like, do you know what I mean? Anything like that. So some papers might, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. You don't think he's
You've met an 80-year-old, right?
Sure did. I was up at the White House. Look.
You've met a 70-year-old. I mean, even then, it's like, I don't know.
Why take them is the question, I guess. Like what and why these? Because it's such a limited number of documents.
I think they were in with other things. So in like a box, they're going to find 7 pieces of classified documents in with other pieces of or whatever other documents that aren't, right?
4 different locations? I mean, how does it get to 4 different places is the thing. If they were all in one box, let's say you were moving, right? You were living there, you moved, and it was all in one box.
I think
you'd be
it's
like,
samesies,
all right, great.
yeah.
Yeah. some shit got put in a box and it's fine, right? You can kind of move on with your life. But in this situation, 4 different locations doesn't really make any sense. And some of these are like beach houses and shit. Like he didn't know he was going to run for president 6 years later, right?
Right.
4 years later, I guess. If you were out of there, here's my guess and speculation. With Biden after 2016, he leaves office. He gets out of there with Obama. It goes to Trump. Do you really think you're going to run at fucking 78 years old? I mean, is it like for real? And I know he's always wanted to be president of the United States, and that's a dream. And same with Hillary Clinton. And that's fine. We should all have dreams in this life. I'm not saying we should act on them, but we should all have dreams in this life. Did he really think, though, at 78 years old, he was the best candidate for the country?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, that's wild. So what are you leaving with anything unless you think you're going back? Like,
this is a good point. Someone in the chat was like, my grandmother would spend days going through files she made to find like one pointless piece of paper. So like that's also another characteristic, right? Where it's like the filing system that they have, because they don't do technology. It's like that is how they, you could ask them for a piece of paper and they've got like it, like,
yeah.
That's their phone, their computer.
Just
basically.
cabinets of manila.
Cabinets of stuff. And they know exactly, like if you say, where's like the guinea pig's birth certificate or whatever, they're like, oh, cool. Shoo, 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 shoo.
Yeah, and they'll find it for you.
So that's another good point, is like. Maybe he knew exactly what he was doing.
But
and
look,
if you asked him which one of those pieces of paper was classified, he would know exactly each one. I don't know.
The biggest gift, though, for this entire story is just a gift to Trump on this one, because now it's a free fucking pass. You certainly can't charge him with anything. You certainly can't go back and do anything to Trump regarding this matter, because you have a sitting president who is currently going through this. Now, could they end up charging him and possibly impeaching him over this? Potentially. It depends on what's on those documents, when the committee is going to get them, and what they're going to say. Trump is out of office at this point. So, if they would have found these documents when Biden had left as VP, I don't know that anybody would have cared. But the fact that he had the feds raid Trump's house, the exact same thing is happening to him. He has no FBI at any of his residences. It's a huge fuck you to from Trump to him, and there's nothing you can do. You either have to charge both of them or let the Trump thing go and then let this go, and I'm sure that will happen.
Probably do that.
Yeah.
Do that. It's a slippery slope when you start charging presidents for crimes.
I agree. And why they decided to raid Mar-a-Lago in the first place, I said it when it happened. It was a real fucking bad idea. And
they just missed him, dude. Like, they missed him.
Trump?
Media. Yeah, like the media, everybody, they were just like, should we go to Trump's?
Maybe.
I just miss him.
No.
I don't like him.
Let's just
He's
pop on down to
annoying, but like, should we invite him to the party?
Yeah.
He always makes it more interesting. All right, let's go to his house. Let's see what he has.
Yeah, he's a blast.
They just missed him.
I beat the virus.
They knew they would find something.
Our first sponsor this week is ghostbed.com/drinking bros. Is Joel stepping in back there? Are you coming in for Hot Bob over there?
No, he's
you
not.
Want that smoke?
He's just...
Come on down, Joel.
Handed me a drive.
Okay. All right. Just in case.
He was gonna party.
He's gonna party. If you're at home partying, watching the games this weekend, drinking hard AF seltzer from the bed, probably gonna black out, do it on a ghost bed from ghostbed.com/drinking bros. They get all the fun things there for the new year. The 40% off bundle package is still going on for the new year. I don't know how they're making any money. That's been going on for a while now at this point. And just gets delivered straight to your house. You open it up. Even a dummy like me could figure it out. I set that thing up in like 10 minutes. It's crazy. And if you're your wife or your husband, no judgment. I don't care if you're gay or.
I thought you were talking to ladies.
No.
Oh,
no. We don't have any ladies that listen to this show.
You were talking to straight men and gay men only.
Correct. We don't have any women that listen to this show. We've got
your
about
husband
4.
or wife. We don't judge.
Yeah, we got about 4. That's why Jesse doesn't mind when we go out of town, because we don't have it. There's not throngs of women Like now, if we were working for TFM back in the day, that's a different story for those fuckers over there.
The heyday.
Yeah. But at Drinkin' Bros, no, dude, no. And we got a Drinkin' Bro of the Week here that's going to come up at the end of the show. You'll see what our audience is, you know?
Just cool dudes.
It's cool dudes, some beards, some J6ers, dude. Let's fucking do it, bro.
Dude, calm down. He's like, what? No.
Yeah, we're gonna indict him right now.
He's like, no.
And I'll bring you up at the end of the show here, and we'll talk about how it was when you stole the podium. But in the meantime, if you need a mattress and you're saying, hey, dude, I don't need the adjustable base. I've already got one, Ross. 30% off and 2 free luxury pillows when you get that promo code Drinkin' Bros all fired up on your device. Peruse the catalog. The sheets are amazing. The cover's sitting right next to me here. That thing is also money as well. I haven't tried the weighted blankets. We don't have the luxury of sleeping like 14 hours a night, but
you can't.
Good for everybody else.
You're not allowed.
I heard it's amazing. Yep. When you check out, you're going to see a 60-month pay-as-you-go program at the bottom of the screen. If you check that box, you got decent credits. All the deals that I mentioned are applicable with that, and you can walk out of there with a brand new bedroom set for about $25 a month. Head on over to ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros today. Next up, San Francisco has a reparations committee. Man, that is fun, isn't it?
Good for them.
Didn't know it existed, but San Francisco does have a reparations committee, and they are proposing that each black longtime resident gets $5 million in total debt forgiveness here if you live in the city of San Francisco. Oh, boy. And this is total debt forgiveness due to the decades of systematic repression faced by the local black community. The San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee, which advises the city on developing a plan for reparations for black residents, released its draft report last month to address reparations, not for slavery, obviously, because California was not technically a slave state, but it was to address the public policies explicitly created to subjugate black people in San Francisco by upholding and expanding the intent and legacy of slavery.
So only African Americans in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a population that might.
Man, I can't think of it. I can't think of it. Is it
something with railroads? Yeah.
Yeah. Was it the Asians?
Maybe
was it
some
the Chinese?
camps? Maybe some camps.
Now they actually had to work. But
there were camps too. Yeah.
There was a ton of camps over there. Holy shit. And again, they go on to say this over and over in the statements.
I'm sorry, $5 million to each.
Each person. Correct.
And this is debt forgiveness.
It's $5 million to each. Hang on, that is a lump sum payment of $5 million to each eligible individual. And that's just a one-time. That's a one-time lump sum. So you get that in your bank account and you're able to start your life.
It looks like it's debt forgiveness.
No, that's also in there. So you get debt forgiveness and then you get a lump sum of $5 million. Now, there's not a lot of people that have $5 million in debt, okay? But the lump sum payment would compensate the affected population for the decades of harm that they have experienced. And will redress the economic and opportunity losses that black San Franciscans have endured collectively as the result of intentional decisions and unintended harms. So to be eligible for the program, by the way, Jesse, applicants got to be 18 years old. Now, that doesn't seem like a long-time black resident.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what is define long-time resident?
Not really sure. So according to public documents, you've got to have lived in the city for at least 10 years. So you got to be 18 years older, have lived there for 10 years. So at 8 years old on up, that's when they're going to repay you for the reparations of slavery.
Well, to be fair, there is only 44,000, about 45,000 black San Franciscans.
Okay.
It's only 5% of the population.
So let me do the quick math
5%.
here of that. So how many? 45,000
Yeah.
times 5 million.
Well, we don't know how many.
Hang on.
34% Asian.
And how are they proving their residence?
Playing for the Niners? I don't know.
With the what?
Playing for the 49ers?
Yeah, you had to have lived in the city
res-
for 10 years, yeah.
A
Or
residence?
13 years, yeah. Man, that is fucking insane right now. That is absolutely fucking insane. Part of me thinks this will actually go through. This will go through. The plan also calls on the city to supplement lower income recipients' income to reflect the area median income, which is about $97,000 annually for at least 250 years. That's where they came up with the numbers. So
Yeah.
it
This chat
makes sense to me.
This chat is gnarly right now.
Makes sense to me.
Not gonna say any of it, but
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple questions and there's a very
Sure is.
little answers, I'm sure, but
What is your question? I think this sounds
How do you-
like very reasonable. I'm surprised it's not more. Was there any sarcasm when I said that? Because it was pretty thick. Like I was hoping it was thick. Was it thick or no?
now look.
5 million. Just in a lump sum payment. Imagine waking up to that and that was in your bank account. Holy fucking shit, dude. Now, if this was like in the deep south, maybe there would be a committee for something like this. But in San Francisco,
Yeah.
it's like Delco said. I think the Asians would have more of a fucking grudge here on this one.
Right.
Than San Francisco residents. Or maybe the gay community. I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Again, there's a lot of questions and not a lot of
Yeah, does
answers.
this include Oakland or?
It's
Bay
got
Area?
to, right?
Right now it's
San
San Francisco.
Must.
Yeah.
Because they pushed everybody.
What if it
that
didn't?
way.
What if it didn't include Oakland?
That'd be amazing. It'd be amazing.
What if it was literally only Walnut Creek?
It'd be great. Just
gotta-
Walnut
we gotta
Creek.
pay
To
the
any
12
longtime
guys.
Walnut Creek resident over 10 years, 5 million.
Last but not least here, House Democrats are pushing to establish a reparations committee at the federal level. So you can look forward to that. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas. Oh, Democrat of Texas. I didn't know we had a Democrat from Texas. Good for her. And 52 other House Democrats proposed legislation last week seeking reparations and a national apology for slavery. I thought we did that. Did we not?
What?
We not give an apology for slavery?
Not really.
Okay, you think a better one is...
You haven't?
Yeah, Jesse, I do every single day. Every single morning when I wake up, I say I'm sorry.
Well, we're not getting the apologies from the people that we really need them.
And who is it exactly?
They're not alive.
They're not alive anymore. They're not
but there
alive anymore.
Now look, they did it in other various ways after that.
Sure.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not saying that what went on 250 years ago wasn't fucked up.
No, but even after that with housing and prison and all the legal slavery that they did, I didn't know that San Francisco was a hotspot.
Yeah.
But yeah, look.
It is,
look,
Jabes.
Look, there are things. There are 5 million
5 million's a lot.
to an
I just like that
18-year-old in San Francisco. I mean,
I just like that they
Sweet.
deduced that the median income there, the median income in San Francisco, was $97,000 a year to live.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably correct. I'm surprised it's not higher, to be honest with you. That's like a one
that's
bedroom.
true.
It's like a one bedroom in San Fran,
Yeah, if you've lived in a residence in San Francisco
13 years?
for over 10 years,
You
Good.
rich.
You rich.
good
dude.
for you, dude.
Yeah, you're fucking rich.
No
bro.
matter where you are.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Nuts, dude. Nuts. Next up, we got blackbuffalo.com. If you're over 21 years old and you dip or chew tobacco, pouches or long cut, you've got to try the tobacco alternative Black Buffalo, a 3-time Best New Products Award winner by third-party publications. Black Buffalo is everything you love about dipping, including the pharmaceutical-grade nicotine, just without the actual tobacco leaf or stem. When Black Buffalo is here, these get immediately stolen by every single guest we've ever had. Gone. They're like, yo, what is that? And we're like, oh, it's Black Buffalo.
Jake took a bunch, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah.
On Softcore History?
Jake.
Does he dip?
He dips all the time, yeah.
He doesn't look like it. He doesn't look like a guy who dips,
He's
know?
from Ocala, Florida.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Never mind. No wonder he's trying to get away from that. I understand that, dude. Want to get away from that image, dude. Down
Yeah,
in
he
California.
vapes, he dips, and on occasion will smoke a stick, right?
There you go. There you go.
My man.
It's dip literally made from edible green leaves and food-grade ingredients with the same flavors and texture as traditional tobacco products. No compromise. Black Buffalo sells products on their website at blackbuffalo.com and is available in both long cut and pouches. They've got a variety of flavors like wintergreen, mints, straights, peach, and even blood orange. Born in the Midwest, raised in the South. Black Buffalo proudly manufactures their products right here in the good old U.S. of A. for U.S. consumers. They're proud supporters of the U.S. military, veterans, and first responders. Use the promo code DRINKINBROS at checkout for 20% off your first order at blackbuffalo.com. Gotta say this warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical, but we knew that already, didn't we? Damn it. Next up, Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire are in a feud.
You know, sometimes people that are too alike just can't. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Get
look,
along.
when I read this, I didn't get it because Crowder was with the Blaze. And I was like, wait a minute, what happened there? His contract was up at the Blaze. The Blaze is right out here in Dallas. Beautiful facilities down there. We've done a few shows, D'Anthony and I, over the years out of there, but his contract is up. Now, what happened today on his live show earlier is that he stated he got a $50 million deal from the Daily Wire to hop on down the bunny trail and sign with those guys. However, there was some problems with the contract, according to Steven Crowder here, that he went on to address regarding the contract that Daily Wire sent over. And he didn't mention the monetary terms. The $50 million was leaked somewhere else. So could it be higher or lower? I don't know. That's the number that was leaked in the wink industry here. But something hidden in these deals, which we go through all the time, and I'll actually address after this, is one of the major ones was if any of the major platforms, i.e. YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, issues a content strike other than a company-wide content strike, such that Crowder content cannot be monetized on such platform, and the company is not able to resolve the issue within 90 days, then the fee will be reduced by 25% from that point forward. And that's one of the portions of the contract that Crowder shared aloud today. And then he went on to address, now, I thought this was a mistake because, as you know, these people maybe didn't know who I am and that we've been demonetized for 3 years. He said it's been made very clear on no uncertain terms that that's what's been sent out to everybody. So he said, think about this for a second. Those in charge, the big conservative and the big con, and it really is the biggest con going right now, that they're making it known in their contracts that they will enforce the guidelines of big tech and punish conservatives on their behalf. He also says raising the alarms over there was another condition that would penalize him $100,000 for every contracted episode he doesn't produce. Crowder further blasted the Daily Wire for turning their back on their fellow conservative media brethren and joining forces with big tech. Now, this one hits close to home here because we're not monetized on YouTube. The fight that we've always had behind the scenes here with YouTube and everybody else is Crowder's our shining example, actually. Crowder has over 6 million subscribers on YouTube. He's got over 1 million on Rumble. Now, I couldn't figure out how he's done it. I've probably been in 30 to 40 conversations regarding Steven Crowder himself and the Daily Wire. And I said, if we're not getting monetized on YouTube, how the fuck are they? Because he'll go down a conspiracy rabbit hole. He had Alex Jones on the day after the Sandy Hook verdict came in for the $1 billion fine, and he was live with Alex Jones. Now, our channel got throttled after we had Alex Jones on election nights. They killed the subscribers, monetization, all that other shit. Now, as soon as we get off air for these live shows, by the way, for you guys, we see there's a green dollar sign that pops up on our videos. The second we get off air, it turns yellow and it says this is not advertiser friendly and you can't monetize these. I'm going to go ahead and read off our monetization for the month here to the audience. Now, keep in mind, YouTube takes 30% of this. $452.62 is what we're going to make here off of YouTube for the last 28 days, it says. Now, they're going to take 30% of that, so that'll probably knock it down to, what, $300, somewhere in there. And let's face it, I think the only clips that are actually monetized are probably Ross Patterson Revolution or Rob O'Neill's show, although a lot of Rob's content is also demonetized as well. Now, I thought we were demonetized, and that's why we weren't getting the subscribers we were supposed to get because of the demonetization. But clearly that is not an issue for Crowder. If he's been demonetized for 3 years, which would make sense because we are also demonetized for the content we talk about, and we do share similar stories throughout the week. How is he able to get the subscribers and everything else? That's been a mystery to me. But as far as what Crowder is saying, no, I'm not really shocked by this. Are you?
Well, what is he saying, that the Daily Wire is working with big tech to...
Correct. That either you've got to play by their rules and go by what isn't demonetized. And by the way... On
their network only?
No,
or
on
he's
YouTube.
Messing with...
Yeah, so YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Facebook, all the other platforms, if they demonetize your videos, that will then dig back into the contract and therefore take money away from Crowder. Here's where I'm with Crowder on this whole sitch is this would severely limit the topics you can talk about on a day-to-day basis. And if you're trying to censor what you can and cannot talk about, it'll change the whole makeup of your show. And Dan and I have had these arguments with people at YouTube, managers, agents, lawyers, all that other stuff of like, hey, dude, we've been doing this show for 7 years. We've never had any investors. Nobody's ever bought us out. The dinner I did have with Daily Wire was regarding a buyout where I was like, hey, dude, it would be great just to focus on the content and not have to deal with the behind the scenes bullshit all the time. It didn't go anywhere. Maybe this was it. Maybe I finally have my answer here because we're not monetized on any of this shit. And if that's the hopes and dreams behind it, there is a sheet of things you can't say, topics you can't talk about. COVID is a no-no altogether.
On Daily Wire or
No.
YouTube?
YouTube, yeah. I mean, you can't talk about that there. You can't talk about shit. The election, any type of misinformation. I'm trying to go off the top of my head here. The best one was when D'Anthony did Tim Pool's show. He said he has a list next to him on the desk of words, things that he cannot say. And that's to play by the rules of YouTube. Now, Crowder is a massive following of 6 million. His show has been one of the biggest for I don't know how many years at this point. But it's certainly not going to affect his advertising on Apple or Spotify or anything else. And then let's say you were to leave YouTube. I know Rumble is starting to buy out shows and buy out a bunch of big people. I think Russell Brand is the newest one that they signed. And I forget who the latest is. There was one more on top of it. He could certainly move this entire audience over to Rumble, and it wouldn't really matter. I think he could definitely do that. But gaining 6 million subscribers is really fucking hard.
Or he could just stay on YouTube and not sign with Daily Wire.
Which is exactly what he said at the end of the show. I'm not going to sign this contract.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
Financially, I don't have to. And fortunately, I'm in a position where I don't have to bow down to anyone to do this. Now, the Daily Wire did a rebuttal to this and said Stephen's philosophy appears to be, I deserve to be paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, whether my show drives the revenue or not. That's not a business relationship. And this is according to CEO Jeremy Boring. He's looking for a benefactor. That's not true either. Because as we know, if you have a show with 6 million subscribers, what is his daily number typically average per show? I would think it's probably, and this is without seeing it, and I'll look it up now, probably within 600,000 to maybe 2 million a show. Let's give it a little peek-sees here. And I'll tell you why this number is important. Popping over to Stephen. Oh, shit, he does have 6 million subscribers. Yeah, he's averaging somewhere between 700,000 and 1.2 million per show.
Okay.
Here's the problem.
But he's not monetized.
He's not monetized on YouTube, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now,
especially if you're reading
and
that.
Daily
sure
Wire
doesn't, friend.
Daily Wire knows that doesn't matter.
And we know it doesn't matter either, because in the conversations we've had with other people, and in particular advertisers, they said, hey, if your YouTube numbers were higher, let's say they were over 100,000 views per video, you can charge for advertisement on a video show. Right now, we can't. So like the ads we read for free are simply to help out Delco on YouTube. So that way he doesn't have to go back in, edit them, or do anything else. Obviously, we have a Patreon channel that is ad-free over there. So if you're watching the live stream and the live video, it's ad-free over there. Congratulations, you subscribe to Patreon, and that's why, right? For Drinkin' Bros podcast. So with this, that statement is bullshit. You can absolutely charge, and it's just based on the number of people that are watching your videos. And then you go to the advertisers, and then they ring up the bill for that. I don't know why you expected to get money from YouTube anyways.
Right.
So if Crowder's saying, hey, dude, I was demonetized over there for 3 fucking years, one would have to imagine that's the first starter in that conversation. And then all you have to do is just bring up the studio app on your phone and be like, hey, look at all my videos. And there's a bright yellow $sign, which means demonetized on there right next to your video, or it's crossed out altogether. So with Crowder on this one, if you were watching that earlier this morning, and I know this is taking over Twitter and social media, I can confirm this. What he's saying is true.
Right. But, to out this contract, it's a contract of a private company when they take on shows.
Sure.
Daily Wire has always kind of been the nerdy little brother of the conservative.
He did not, by the way, mention, I want to make this clear for us as well legally, but he did not mention Daily Wire. So this was leaked that it was Daily Wire.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He went on a tirade about it, and then Jeremy Boring from Daily Wire went on and said this about Steven Crowder. So clearly it was Daily Wire. Right.
And in this article and subsequent articles, they're saying Daily Wire. So I guess now you can say it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And this is according to the reports that we are reading here, and this was in Yahoo.
Yes. And so Daily Wire has always been the outlier, dorky brother of the conservative movement, right? Where he always has been, you just see clips of Shapiro everywhere. Since day one. He seemed like he was already this huge guy, and then the network became huge.
Yep.
And it was probably by trying to and hiring people that know what you can say and how far you can go and what words you have to manipulate, just like Tim Pool, right? So they have built their entire empire on this nerdy, dorky way.
Sure.
While also saying we go against the norm and all of this, but they kind of don't. Right. Right.
And I'll say this for Shapiro, knowing him, obviously he's been on the show, and I've talked about this a few times in the past. We've had lunch with him privately for 4.5 hours. He's great. Jeremy's great.
No,
but Shapiro himself, I think, has always played by the rules, not even on purpose. I just think that's a part of his personality.
Yes, but I think
Steven Crowder built an audience on being controversial.
Right.
And
they had a conversation with him, I'm sure, and we're like, this is, we're going to give you this amount. And as much as we speak our mind here, you give me that list, I won't say it. And I bet you wouldn't either, right? So, Crowder, he's great. I know people like him. He's a little bit losery. This is a little bit of a losery, like, outing of some crazy contract that you got, and you're going to get something else because of it. And, it's a private company. They can give you whatever the fuck contract they want, and you can either take it or not.
They can. But I think his point in all of this is...
They play by the rules?
Well,
okay, great.
Not that. Is, hey, we know what's going on when you talk about conservative media or stories or everything else, right? We've taken enough shit. We've seen the Twitter files. We've seen all that other shit behind the scenes.
Right.
Now you want me to play by the rules after building up my fan base for this long? Case in point, man, he's not here today, but I'll tell a story about Dan right now.
But it happened to Rogan as well.
It happened to fucking us 2 days ago.
It happens
and Dan
to
wrote back,
everyone.
Dan wrote back to said individual, if you think that I'm going to change myself or change my viewpoints or anything else, you can go fuck yourself. And I was on this email, and so were a couple other people from Tetherball Academy Media and everything else. And the response back was, well, hey, if you don't want to play by their rules, well, who is the there in their statement? Like, if I was talking this way and I was on the left, wouldn't have a problem. All of our shit would be monetized and the show would be massive. So when you build up a fan base and an audience like this, speaking your mind about everything across the board, and let's face it, Dan hates politicians on both sides. I lean mostly right financially. With that, I don't think they would stay if you just changed overnight after 7 years, because we're on 7 years here for Drinkin' Bros.
Absolutely right.
Your audience wouldn't stay, and I don't think Crowder's would either.
Absolutely. And so he didn't take the contract.
Right.
And I just kind of think it's losery to out it.
Really?
But hey, yeah, I do.
Or do you think there's a bigger play there?
That's what I'm saying. It's losery because it's not for his audience. He's not saying, hey guys, I turned down $50 million for you. He's saying, I turned down this deal.
Yeah, to get another
Anybody else wanna let me say whatever I want? I bet you do, right? So it's all just like,
I wonder if Rumble has
nobody's
the money.
allowed to fucking really say.
I wonder if Rumble's got the 50 mil.
Look,
I'm trying to think about anybody else, because they're like Spotify and all that shit. Like, most of those deals are done now, where they didn't work well. But they also hired people without, like, besides Rogan. Rogan is doing fine. But the rest of them without massive fan bases, that's because they didn't sign anybody controversial. All they did was sign fucking the Obamas and Springsteen, the working man. All those shows bombed. So they didn't get renewed. Those deals didn't get renewed. All those contracts. I don't think Meghan Markle's will get renewed over there.
Right.
You can't do that either, because nobody's going to go there to listen to boring content where you can't fucking say anything or talk about anything or don't want to.
Right. But like, I sort of equate it to like my brother, for example, Ben.
Okay.
Surfer dude.
Yeah.
Makes his own pizzas.
Yeah.
Surfs. Doesn't answer to anybody. If he gets a job at like a, cheesecake factory.
Sure.
And just goes, hey man, I've been living my life surfing, making pizza, and doing what I want. Okay? What is this? They go, okay, cool. Don't take the job. Like, hey man, I go to Cheesecake Factory. They want me to fucking show up on time. They want me to fucking.
But I think Crowder's point is that of
no,
like,
Crowder's
do you know
point is,
who you're not hired or tried to hire here? Like, you had to know, right? I mean, he had on fucking Alex Jones, right? I mean, live on his channel the day after the Sandy Hook verdict. Like, you got to know who you hired. Like,
right. He could have redlined. He could have returned the contract, but no.
I think after reading that, I don't know.
He's making a different play. It's fine.
It's not that. I don't know. If you submit those red lines back on a contract like that, they're going to tell you to fuck yourself. So he might have been getting ahead of it. So that way Daily Wire was like, oh, well, we had to reject him because he wouldn't do this. So I don't know. Either way, it's an interesting story, and it's certainly dominated social media all day long.
And I think the point of the story is nobody really cares about their audience.
They do.
We do.
We do. Crowder does. Or else you take that money and read the fucking list. You know, you could change $50 million to make a lot of people change.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money Crowder's got, though. So it depends on if you're happy with the number you have currently and you're like, who gives a shit? I can do whatever I want.
Right.
Next up here, sponsor-wise, we got Manscaped.com. They're now selling beard products. It's about fucking time, dude. Holy shit.
Right?
That's right. They're once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard. And look, I could use it for my fucking mustache right now. This thing's getting out of control.
Yeah, you've really got to.
I gotta trim this bad boy down here.
Really got to trim it up.
I really do. I really got to trim this bad boy. It'll be gone, though, after the Daytona 500, by the way. After I meet Dale, that's it. Dale Jr., obviously. And then Dale's spirit in the sky. This will be gone. But in the meantime, shit, I'll use this on the old mustachio here. Now with Manscaped products, you can make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using the promo code Drinkin Bros for 20% off and free shipping. Every week, this gets me. It gets me that they write this copy. I love it, but they're just one of few companies that still do this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Big fan. It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit. Whoever their copywriter is deserves a fucking raise, by the way.
Isn't that Joel? Were you Weird Beard?
Yeah, he was Weird Beard for a while.
Who was Weird Beard?
It all starts with a Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut at fixing faces.
Yeah.
It's not going to make you more attractive, all right? It's not.
Oh.
This isn't. I mean, it's going to fix your beard, but it's not going to make you more handsome, maybe. Or maybe it might. It's waterproof. You can shave in the shower and avoid all that hair in the sink, which is nice. It just goes down the tub drain. Who cares, baby?
Yeah.
We don't know where the tub goes, the tub juice goes, dude. I have no idea. They've also got a beard shampoo and conditioner. You got to remember that all your hair is different and that your beard hair is more coarse and easier to damage than the hair on your head. That's why this kit has shampoo and conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, and replace natural oils that promotes beard health. So get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Drinkin Bros at manscaped.com. And that is 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. Manscaped Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths. That's a lot of lengths. 20?
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Next up, is Vladimir Putin dead? Maybe. Zelensky is asking the question. President Vladimir Zelensky questions whether or not the Russian president is still alive.
Gosh,
of course.
Zelensky and Crowder should get together.
Could you imagine?
They are so good at just like...
Man, what I'd like to do is
just posing the question.
Just posing the question.
Yeah.
The Ukrainian leader addressed the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Of course he did. Because God forbid that motherfucker isn't everywhere but his own country, urging his allies to send more weapons to his army before new Russian offensive. He commented on the topic of peace negotiations between the Ukraine and Russia and the helicopter crash yesterday that killed 14. And he stressed that he doesn't know if there is Russian involvement, but that there is no accidents at wartime. Among the other comments about the enemy's tactics, perhaps one that raised the most eyebrows was whether or not the Russian dictator had died. He says, right now, I don't understand who to talk to, and I am not sure whether the president of Russia is still alive. I don't understand that he's alive or that it's him particularly making the decisions. Now, there is no verifiable evidence that Putin is seriously ill, and still less so that he has died. But there has been much speculation that a body double may have been used for some appearances, and there is a strong rumor that he's had multiple surgeries over the last couple weeks. I don't know. What do you think?
This is fun.
It is, right?
Yeah. It's fun. I think he's just not talking to Vladimir.
I'm not sure
He's
at this
fucking
point.
done with his bullshit.
Over the interviews that we've seen where he's had been violently shaking legs and hands and then having cancer and appeared kind of out of it, we haven't really seen him in a while, Putin, right?
Right.
And I think it would be a big deal if he was dead. But if he was dead, I think it's his own monarchs and oligarchs and all that bullshit, whatever they call it over there, that probably offed him to get out of this sitch. Because this isn't going away right now, and this was supposed to be a war that is won. So if he is dead, I think it's his own people who would do it, and then they would wait till a later time to announce it. I'll go down the conspiracy rabbit hole in this one. I'm still convinced that Kim Jong-un died, and that's a fucking body double.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's a good one.
It is, but this has been going on for years. They had a bunch for Saddam Hussein. They had, I think 7 or 8 back in the day for him, and I know there was 10 for the easiest one is Kim Jong-un because everybody looks like that motherfucker. So
right.
And when the person took, this is my opinion, when the person took over, it didn't really look like him. And I was like, all right, cool. Now Putin, on the other hand, that's a hard one to fake.
You know why I think he is dead too? Because I just don't think he'd fucking put up with any of this shit.
I don't either. I think when you think
after
he would just go bombs away and be like, fuck it, hit the button.
After he talked to Congress or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I thought for sure a week later we were done.
Same here. I would have bombed the shit out of that country just on that primetime speech on that Thursday night.
I mean, I would have done it after the Golden Globes for sure.
Well, nobody watches the Golden Globes.
I mean,
I don't even know if Putin even knew it was on, But to let him go around to all these forums and all this other shit, because everybody's here for this World Economic Forum. Now, that's leaders from all over the world. Even to let him do this bullshit speech, I would have gone bombs
by the
away.
way, I think that Zelensky actually knows that he's dead.
Uh-huh.
And that's why he's been ramping up. If you want to go down. Because, he's been real.
I know. Fast and loose.
He's been a bold little Betty out there, huh?
Yeah. Real
he's
fast
been talking to everybody, talking shit.
Yeah.
About Putin,
real fast and loose.
With nothing to back it up.
Now, they're going on to say experts believe that Kremlin cronies would be keen to cover up his death in an attempt to cling on to power. I agree. During a time of war here, shit, if he was dead, I mean, look, the first thing you would do if you were Zelensky in Ukraine is claim that you did it and that you were responsible for it and that, hey, we killed Putin and we don't want a war with Russia and we'll be willing to work out a new deal with whoever the next in power is or blah, blah, blah.
No, because he won't be able to get more money if Putin's dead. So he has to be it's still it's still a big deal out here, guys. And we're like, why are you able to do all this stuff? You know what I mean?
What if he's...
he needs to keep it going too.
Yes, I agree. Like thinking about that out loud, yes, because he wants the billions of dollars from people all over the world, and especially the United States, who are dumb enough to keep giving him fucking money. Right. So, yeah, if I were him, I'd shut the fuck up. And if he was dead, I'd just try to bilk this for all it's worth. And then kind of FTX it and wait till they find out and be like, oh, just kidding, I'm in the Bahamas.
Is he the one saying, I don't even know?
He is the one who's saying it.
Well, he is that dumb.
So, who knows? But it's a strange story.
If he was smart, he'd be like,
yeah.
He came to my door last night with a gun and he's in my house holding me hostage.
I need more money and more weapons.
Is that Ukrainian?
It's close. Close enough.
What do you think? What do you think?
Survey says.
We don't know.
We got it. All right. Yes.
Because he tries to read.
Yeah. That's a weird accent.
But it sounds like that.
Sure.
Because he is reading always and wants. It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
It's terrible.
But
it's terrible.
Play it side by side.
Yeah. Play it side by side.
Side by side.
If you can guess the difference between Jesse and
reading,
Zelensky.
if I was reading the speech that he was reading.
Yeah.
And believe me, we need more. No? That was Russian,
kind of Greta Thunberg. It's very Thunberg. It's very Thunbergish,
How dare you?
Yeah. Speaking of old Greta Thunberg, she got arrested this week. I'm going to give that a hard air quotes around the word arrested. Greta Thunberg was reportedly arrested, and she also claimed she was arrested in Germany for a climate change protest. Now, when I watched the footage of this, Bob's not here, so I don't think we can pop this up.
What was she doing?
The footage was leaked. She was allegedly protesting, and then footage from the media was leaked yesterday from all angles of her posing with the police officers for pictures first, and then asking if she would like to be carried out because it was muddy, so they could get better pictures and video of her being, air quotes, arrested and taken away. Now, this one here, I can only one fake arrest comes to mind, and that's AOC.
Yeah.
And kind of who did it better there, because she had the invisible handcuffs that weren't there when she put her arms behind her back.
Yeah, she just went like that.
She sure did.
And she was like, I was just walking with my... That's how I walk. That's how I walk.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Now, Thunberg, on the other hand, was carried out by some soldiers there, or police, it appeared, from the video footage. The same way you would carry your 3-year-old out of your car after he shits his pants in the back seat, and you got to throw him right in the tub.
Right.
So they kind of picked her up by her arms and legs, and she had that little Thunberg smile, that little smirk that she loves to give.
That classic Thunberg smile.
Or is it just autism? I don't know. Whatever it is.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? Now the Thunberg's coming out. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Either way, can you expect to get away with any of this shit in today's world with this many cameras and news outlets following you all the time? No, dude.
No.
So nobody's going to take you seriously on all this other fucking bullshit. Like, I don't get it. And how old is she now? How old is Thunberg?
50?
Is she older than 18 now? Yeah. She is. Okay, because when she pops up on the scene, I think she was 14, but how many years ago was that at this point?
I mean, right now she is 20.
She's fucking 20 years old?
Yeah. January 3rd, 2003.
Wasn't she 16
she looks the same
when she burst on the scene?
I don't know when she burst. I forget when
she was 16, I think.
I forget when she burst all over the scene.
When she flooded onto the scene.
Yeah, I think she was 14. I'm going to go with 14. But either way, why are people carrying you out at 20 years old then? I know she looks identical and looks like the same little tiny baby that was up there at 14 years old giving the speech and all that fun stuff. But why are you getting carried out at 20? That's a little much now at this point. I think it's because dum-dums like me don't actually know her age now.
Right, but I think she also wouldn't leave.
She was the only one out there, so.
Yeah, but she wouldn't leave. And they were like, okay. And she was like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Right?
She's not leaving.
Leaving. They carried her off camera.
Sure did. They carried her little body off camera, and they got her right the fuck on out of there. But to Thunberg and the AOCs and everybody else who wants to fake an arrest, let's not. There's so many cameras for this fucking shit, and then you just look like a fucking dummy afterwards. It doesn't make any sense anymore.
I think most people are kind of Thunberg's a meme at this point, right? Is anyone really following her climate change?
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, her followers are massive. She still has a huge. People love her, dude. People love the Thunberg.
Huh?
Yeah.
I have never met one.
They've even got a saying, let's tune up.
She has almost 6 million followers on Twitter.
Fuck off.
5.8.
Wow.
Oh,
on just Twitter.
That's hey, Crowder's got 5.94 on YouTube. He's been doing a goddamn live show every day for years, you know? Fuck, 6 million followers on Twitter for Thunberg. No wonder she won't leave. She was bitching about Elon Musk. What is she going to give up 6 million followers? Not a prayer. Not a prayer.
Yeah.
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 That's crazy, dude. I didn't know that. She have Instagram? I would imagine she's got Instagram and shit.
I'm sure.
Look up her Instagram. Damn, dude. Thunberg. Let's get tuned up. Those shirts are selling too. They're really selling those shirts.
Let's get tuned up.
Yeah, let's get tuned up, and it's her
They
face.
will now.
Holy shit.
What?
She has 15 million on Instagram.
1.5?
15.
Yeah, 15.
15
You've
million?
You've got a slight cold today.
I do. 1.5
Holy
million.
shit, dude. 15 million Instagram. So just between those two social media platforms, she's got 21 million followers. Yeah. Yeah, dude, she's got to get fake arrested. She needs content.
There's
needs content to put out in
21
the
million people that are like, yeah.
that are tuned up.
That are like, you know what? She's making some sense.
Yeah, dude, they're tuned up for her, Jesse. That's what they call them, dude. They call them the tuners, and that's what they do. They get tuned up. The tuners get tuned up for Toon Bear, and they go out and they
Nooners
support
are going to
her.
be mad about that.
Do your Toon Bear impression real quick.
I don't know. It's not, but it's not coming. I need to see.
Figure the fuck out.
I need to see something.
Yeah.
How dare you?
There you go. Can't leave without you doing a Toon Bear.
How dare you with your hamburgers and your cars.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for.
You are ruining.
Definitely keep going there. Next up, an Amy Winehouse movie is in the works. Everybody's trying to cash in on dead rock stars in Hollywood. Apparently, that's the only thing that is making money. After Bohemian Rhapsody made $1 billion in the box office, and the Elvis Presley movie making fucking $700 million worldwide, everybody's trying to cash in on dead rock stars. The next one up is a biopic called Back to Black about Amy Winehouse. Focus Features is doing it, so it should be pretty fucking good, along with Studio Canal. Another fucking great studio. This should be pretty fucking lights out than one would imagine here. Now, the shocking numbers to me here were the number of records she sold worldwide. Because usually that is a factor in who's going to get a biopic and who isn't here.
Right.
These numbers were shocking once I read them. It says Winehouse is considered among the greatest recording artists in recent history, selling more than 30 million records worldwide and still generating today, more than 80 million streams per month.
What the hell?
Holy shit, dude. That is insane, man. I did not know that. I think she's good, but I mean, she only had, I think, 2 albums?
Yeah, but I think they were all
2.5. Both albums were good.
Yeah.
Both albums were good, right? But there's never been a Tupac or a Biggie release like after death. It has just been these 2 albums. So
Makes you think.
Yeah.
makes you think what's going on there.
What are we thinking?
You think there's some in the vault, Delco?
Yeah.
I can tell.
Wine?
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Her father always wanted to be famous. He's a jazz musician. He fucking. When she was famous, she was playing, because I was living in New York at this time. When she was famous, he was playing at this place called the Blue Note down the street. And I was always like, it was like Frank Winehouse was his name. And I was like, is that Amy's dad? And they were like, yeah. And no lie, I would see a fucking line out there. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, and so he was just playing like jazz and everything else. And it was just simply based off of the last name and what was going on. And then
What if it sucks, though?
when she passed away, I'm sure it wasn't great. I didn't go and see him. But when she passed
No,
away,
I'm saying the stuff in the archives, or I guess in the
so what
stuff
I
that's locked away.
what I had, because we watched the documentary, and the documentary was nominated for an Oscar, and I believe it might have won. I think so. I think it actually did win for best documentary. When we saw it, the producers said the same thing about her, that the biggest problem with Amy Winehouse was actually getting her in a recording studio. And they were like, dude, it was brutal trying to even put this one album together, let alone another one or anything else. So I don't think there's anything locked up. I think Homeboy, the father, would have released it and just cashed in, because I think him and the mom have the rights to the estate.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would have fucking cashed in, even if
Hot
it was
take. Usually things that are in the vault aren't good.
Yeah.
Has there ever
Name
been
one.
one?
Name one.
Tupac. Tupac was all of his shit was pretty goddamn good.
What that he put out after?
Yeah.
What did he put out after that was?
He was
good.
dropping fucking hits. One of them was #1 in the world.
Machiavelli?
Changes, yeah, Machiavelli, and remember that song? Remember how big the song Changes was?
But that was recorded already.
Yes.
So I don't think it was like in a vault, and then they kind of like
like years later.
Wasn't it already like in the works? And he
so the rumor was, and again, this is pure speculation on this, because I had asked Eddie Griffin when I worked with him. I was like, because he did those sketches. Remember back in the all '90s rap albums, there was a sketch between every song.
Sure.
And it was like, fuck, man, can we just skip this? I just want to hear the music. I
Right.
want to hear this bullshit sketch. He did a lot of them, and I go, hey, did you ever, hang with Tupac? How did that work? Whatever. And he goes, yeah, I did a lot of them. And I go, what was it like? And he goes, dude, truthfully, he had 6 albums left on a deal. And he wanted to get out of Death Row Records. And he goes, he just recorded non-fucking stop to make 6 albums to get out of this deal. He still wanted the music to be great, is what he said. And he would kick everybody out of the studio. And he goes, you want to talk about a work ethic and a fucking gangster? He goes, it was him. And he told me a conversation that he had with him where Tupac just fucking erupted. And then he would stay up all day. He goes, trying to keep up with Tupac all day and night. And he goes, he was smoking weed, drinking Hennessy. And he goes, I've never seen anything like it. He barely slept. All he did was work to try to make these fucking 6 albums and get the fuck out of this deal. But that one day he exploded on, I guess people were partying in the background. And he goes, if you're not here to work, get the fuck out of the studio. He goes, I'll give you all the weed and fucking booze you want. Just get the fuck out of my face because I'm trying to record. So I think that's why those albums were good. But he had something to get out of where most artists don't. They're not trying to get out of a record deal or anything else. So therefore, he's the only one I could name. And I love Biggie, but the album they released after his death, I think, wasn't the greatest album. What was it, the second one? The first one was good because then, but he just died. I think, the day it came out or the day before it came out?
Young Dolph just put out an album.
Is it any good?
Yeah.
No.
It's not great.
Like I like Mac Miller, and they put out an album after he died, and it was not great at all.
It's hard to say though after the fact, right? Especially this recent to their death.
Yes. I look, I think the artist's input has a lot to do with it, where they know if their songs are good or not, and if they don't like them or whatever, whereas you get a catalog full of shit and you're trying to put something together, it's kind of just up to the producers at that point, where you're just like,
yeah.
All right, well, fuck, I guess we're going to do this. But with her, you got 2 albums to cover. Yeah, her life is, I guess pretty interesting, and they're going to do the Blake. Like that guy's already been cast and everything else. They've already cast the Amy Winehouse role, and they went with unknowns. So it's not like you're trying to squeeze in Cate Blanchett to play Amy Winehouse. I've never heard of any of these people that are in this. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I can learn from her life.
Well, we watched the doc, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just kind of how good will the movie
What more
be?
can you tell me than she was an amazing singer that
Right.
could not get her fucking shit together? And it's a tragic thing, right?
And I love all these music biopics. I mean, Ray is one of my favorites, and I loved Ray, but I didn't know anything about Ray Charles' life. That was before my time, obviously.
Right.
So that was like watching something entirely new about an artist that I didn't know about. Some of the ones that are lingering out there that have yet to been made, as far as the estates are concerned, are Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin, which, Jesus Christ, there's been 12 people attached to that for the last 20 years. Renee Zellweger was one of them. Pink was one of them that was attached to play not Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, and some of the others. But it's interesting, the Elton John thing was nominated for a bunch of shit. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
When he was getting fucked in missionary position and we saw his legs up in the air. And I was like, oh, man, I never even thought that was a position for gay dudes,
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. It really sticks in my craw.
Yeah.
I talk about it a lot, actually.
You do.
It still haunts my dreams. Jabes, we appreciate you being here today and doing fake news. We do this segment once a week on Ross Patterson Revolution that you came up with called Nature Nook. And I thought it would be fitting to end with a Nature Nook. You also cut a very violent graphic audio track to Nature Nook that we play on the show. And we're gonna give you a little peek inside that right now. Go ahead and play it, Delco.
Okay.
Nature Nook.
Nature Nook.
Nature Nook.
Bob kind of came up with Nature Nook. I did cut that. And Bob had kind of mentioned this the other day, and I think in memory, because he might not ever... Memoriam, he might not ever come back. He's about to have another kid.
Exactly.
We might not see him again.
And Nature Nook here for the Drinkin' Bro audience is it usually involves a violent death when you try to take on animals in the wild.
Well, it involves like nature being nature, and if you ever think that nature is not going to be nature, that's on you.
Yeah.
It's going to be nature.
It's going to be nature.
You. No matter how brutal the attack, it will always be your fault. Okay? If you were, hanging out in the alligator pond thinking you weren't the one or whatever. But this is more of just a real fun one.
Sure.
So we actually have video. I'll just kind of set it up a little bit.
Go
this
ahead.
30-year-old from Minnesota recorded. They were on safari. And
where at? Africa?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were just on one of those animal safaris.
Sure.
And they're on the Jeep. They pull up. And they see a zebra giving birth.
No way.
I know, so sweet.
Nice.
And she shot this video. So I think maybe we should take a look.
Okay. I'm sure everything's going to be fine, right? It always is. All right. There's a beautiful zebra. There's the baby zebra.
Birth
right
and
there.
the zebra is just.
Yeah. There's
It
shooting
just.
some video.
So these people saw this being birthed. It's coming out of the ambiotic whatever sac right now.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Oh, look
gorgeous,
at that.
right?
Look at that baby.
The miracle of
the world, yeah.
Miracle of life. Look, it's just and it's like his little legs are.
Yep. Bob's going through that right now.
Just learning to walk.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
How cute.
They can walk instantly like that.
Yeah. They're able to just. Oh
no.
God.
No.
All right. Honey.
God.
Turn
Damn it,
away.
Jesse.
No, I know.
Is that the baby zebra?
Yeah.
Shit.
In front of the safari.
Oh.
In front of that Jeep
God.
thing that they all ride. Oh, and they're just.
Damn it.
Life comes at you fast.
If
so
you're
does
going to
death.
be in nature, guys, you're going to see some nature, okay? And if you think that
Shit, dude. I was not expecting that.
what did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. I thought maybe the zebra was going to come after the fucking safari truck or something like that. I think a fucking lion would step out and just kill the zebra maybe less than 30 seconds into this world.
For audio listeners, the zebra was just born.
Yep.
Just getting up on its legs.
30 seconds into this world.
30 seconds into the world, and the lion just came and picked up some food, basically.
Yeah.
And that's if you think about it in those terms,
God.
nature.
Dude. That's brutal.
Nature.
It was a pickup delivery from a restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was easy peas, wasn't it?
Oh, boy.
Swipe the card.
I never know. So but we don't share these stories before, so I never know what I'm about to get into here when we do these nature nooks on Ross Patterson Revolution. But my God, man, I was not expecting
Yeah,
that
the
today.
newborn, Bob. The newborn goes limp right before the lion drags its prize away.
Wow.
So it's clearly snapped that neck.
Son of a bitch, dude.
so,
It's gone
yeah.
too soon.
Well, welcome
Yeah.
to the world. You know what I mean? Welcome to the world. That's how it is.
Seems
Little zebra.
Bad parenting.
Oh,
Yeah, where was the
boy.
mom, huh?
Yeah.
Where was the mom?
Son
She was
of a
actually running away.
bitch.
Did you see that?
I know.
The mom goes, whoops, bye.
My God.
I'll just have another one.
Shit. Grab a couple hard AFs here, and
It's got him. All right,
we will
thanks,
get
guys.
to the Drinkin' Bro of the week. Jesse Wiseman, thanks for being on the show today. Cheers, friend. I appreciate it. Cheers. Welcome here. Jacob Nichols says Delco's going to do the same thing with Bob's baby right after it's born. Delco fights to win. Goddamn right he does. Cheers. Put that mic about an inch from your face there.
Yeah,
welcome.
perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Dude. Tell everybody your name.
Jared Clark.
Jared
Yeah,
Clark.
from Cumming, Georgia.
Oh, shit. Coming?
Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, man. Living right.
I know. I lived about 45 minutes from there, an hour from coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was right at 400, right?
Yeah. Yep. Right at the top. Right at the top.
Yeah, dude. I live like 45 minutes down. I was in Roswell, Alpharetta area down there. So
yeah, that's not even 40. Well,
I forget the
Atlanta
exit
traffic.
number.
It's 45 minutes, but it's about 10 miles.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
How bad traffic's come today. Speaking of which, last time I was in Atlanta, I think it was like maybe a high school reunion-ish. It was the last time I didn't even go anywhere, but last time I was back home.
Right.
It did take me fucking forever to get there from there. And tell me if they still have this, where the berm, they open up as like a lane in the mornings because the traffic's so bad where you can just ride right down that fucking thing going 90. I was not aware of that when I came home, and I was like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, no, now those are the toll lanes, right?
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Just a single lane. You got to pay to use that lane.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
That's a
it's crazy.
toll?
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Because people are always asking, they're like, hey, do you think you'll ever move back to Georgia? I'm like, no. No.
I mean, hey, Texas is the only place I'd move outside
I'm all
Georgia,
good.
so.
Well, even Texas is okay. I'm going back to the beach someday.
Well, yeah, hey, I get that.
I love North Carolina. I love.
North Carolina is great.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan. How long have you been listening to the show?
I have been listening since early 2016.
Ah, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, rain or shine, show goes on. Sorry you didn't get to meet D'Anthony today.
all good.
He will be back tomorrow, by the way. So their flight got delayed. Those guys get in I think like 6:30 or 7 tonight. But he'll be back tomorrow. Sorry you didn't get to meet him. But you know
All good.
the rules. Who would you like to give the Drinkin' Bro of the Week to?
Yeah, so Drinkin' Bro of the Week goes to my best friend, Ryan Hepworth. So he was medically retired from the Army 2015 and has been just watching out for his brothers and sisters that are military ever since. Started up a nonprofit, going out on the streets, finding homeless veterans and helping them get back on their feet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hell
So
yeah.
he's definitely the Drinkin' Bro of the Week, and he damn well deserves it.
Cheers, man. Love
Yeah.
the defund politician shirt.
Yeah, always. This is my voting shirt, man.
Dude, I didn't know we made it in olive like that.
Yeah,
I've got
well.
them in black, and yeah. They're always populating new shirts and colors and all that
Yeah.
stuff in the store. And if you want to become Drinkin' Bro of the Week, go to drinkinbros.com, click on the submission form, and it'll go straight to our email. However, if you're in studio, we'll just bring you up on the set. And even the drive-in, there's a huge sign on the highway that just says Drinkin' Bros Podcast,
Yep.
so you can't really miss it.
Yeah.
Just take an Uber.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean,
you can't miss it.
8%. You're getting an Uber.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
What do you think of the seltzer, by the way?
Love it. Absolutely love them. The new flavors are phenomenal. by
Oh,
the way.
dude, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
the support. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're in Tennessee. We're in stores in Tennessee and then Florida, and then working
Easy
on
drive.
working on Georgia, North Carolina, and some other states right now. But yeah, everybody who comes in gets rocked, and they got to take an Uber home. So I'm glad. That's
Yeah.
why I peeked on you. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, dude, you getting that fucking Uber,
You
dog?
get over there?
And I cracked one with you.
Yeah.
To end the show here. If you want some at home and you don't live in Tennessee or Florida, we ship them right to your house at hardafseltzer.com. A lot of games coming up in the Super Bowl and all that fun stuff. So a lot of parties coming up. And I think we're going to the Daytona 500. I've got a phone
That'd be
call
a
about
blast.
it tomorrow morning, actually. So fuck yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I'm almost positive we are. And the beauty of it is, I think right there, that Total Wine's in Daytona Beach. They're stocked away. Look, so it's going to be great.
That'll
We
be
can
good.
just
Buy them out. Buy them out,
Oh,
man.
dude. Just load up and head over to the
I bought
track.
one out up in Chattanooga.
Oh, did you really?
Like a month ago, yeah.
What? Do you remember the store?
Jack's.
Jack's?
I remember that because that's my kid's name. So
No shit, dude.
yeah, Jack's liquor store right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack's Liquor Store in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Shout outs. And if they're sold out in Tennessee, hit up Best Brands. Tell me you want it. God damn it. We appreciate it. A buddy of ours has an axe throwing place where everybody can go and rage. He's going to put some Hard AF Seltzer in there as well.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah,
That-
one of our favorites. So yeah,
It's gonna get dangerous.
fuck yeah, it is, dude.
I'm
amped
in.
about
I'm
it.
in. I'm all in on it.
Same here. It's
Yeah.
great.
You should put one of those in the back.
Yeah. Thanks for being here
Yeah.
today. We greatly
Appreciate it. Thank
appreciate
you.
it. If you're in the Austin area, pop by and see a live show, and then we'll have you on at the end of it. Fun times. Plus, you get to drink as much as you want and figure it the fuck out afterwards. Shout out to Jesse Weissman here for doing the show today. Look, I said this on Ross Patterson Revolution this morning, and I mean it. Show goes on, and we'll try to always give you a show every day, whether or not I'm in the hospital or Dan is out of town, wherever it is. We try not to miss a single day here because we appreciate you guys tuning in every single day. Therefore, we don't want to miss. Cheers to Bob. Is that baby out yet? Do we know?
No update.
No update from Bob. He's gone dark, huh? Shit.
Makes
Lazy.
you think.
He's got
Makes you think, dude. Is he really having a baby, or did he just want Thursday off? I don't know the answer. If it was opening of March Madness, I would say he's a liar. But this is a random Thursday. There's nothing going on today, so who the fuck knows? In the meantime, everybody at home, thanks for tuning in. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. It's all the advertisers fucking care about. Just get us above 10,000. I'll stop asking. I think we're at 6,500-ish, somewhere in there. Not much further to go. And then head on over to Spotify. Just click a 5-star and walk away. We would greatly appreciate it. For Jesse Wiseman, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.